everybody, it's time to LOL. Listen out loud, that is. It's time for Anime Jam Session with DJ Ranma S, Mako-chan, and Ari Rockefeller.
Hey everybody, welcome to Anime Jam Session, episode number 635. We are that podcast that talks about anime, games, conventions, the fandom, geek stuff, and everything in between. I'm DJ Ranma S.
And I am Mako-chan.
Well, holy fucking shit, Mako-chan is back.
Hey look, it's a me.
Fuck you! Well, somebody was going to do it, so, you know, the crowd just loves you, you know. See, look at that. They just love you. Take a bow. They're glad you're back. Drink it in, my friend. Wow, they really love you.
Yeah.
Well, you are quite the loving type, aren't you?
If that's what you want to call it.
Gotta call it something, am I right?
Yeah, I guess.
There you go. So, anywho, Mako, how are you doing tonight?
Not bad.
That's good.
I got my car fixed today.
Vroom vroom.
Yeah, so I have new brakes. That means that I can actually travel with my car again. And when I sent it in this morning, I got a call. They're like, "Oh, this piece is gonna have to be changed out too." I'm like, "Great." So total, I just had to drop over $800 on my car.
Ow!
Yeah. So yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, the joys of being independent.
I don't even want to know how much you've sunk into your car since you've gotten it.
Well, the fact that I didn't need to buy my car helped.
Well, that's true. That's true.
I mean, so if you look at how much I've spent on my car over the years, the fact that my car is, going on 20 years old at this point, it's not often that something like this has to be done, and it kind of evens out.
That is true. That is true. Let me find something real quick, because honestly, yeah. Let me set it to this one. All right. Well, that ad's going. Well, because as you talk about your car, I kind of I am kind of reminded of what type of car that it is. You know, it's a Toyota, right?
Yeah.
And I'm suddenly reminded of the commercials from the 90s where they always advertise the Toyotas and they will play a particular music track in the background, like a jingle.
Okay.
It was so popular that they put it in the game Iron Stewart Super Off-Road.
I vaguely remember that.
Well, if you pay attention, you'll hear it playing in the background. And as Theo X75 says, he actually remembers the jingle. I love what you do for me, Toyota. So, and I'm also remembering a conversation that you had with Baltimore Lauren a while back about Toyotas. And I'm suddenly reminded of a quote from South Park. The father that owns the weed farm, or he used to own the weed farm, and he would say something along the line. It was a scene from an episode where he got into this fight, or he was fighting somebody, and he gets up and goes, I didn't hear no bell. And you can see he got his ass handed to him. Yes, Randy Marsh. And he basically says, I didn't hear no bell. That's your car.
Yeah, my car has done some stuff.
And your car, and when you turn the engine in and you hear it, your car's like, I didn't hear no goddamn bell.
Yeah, and I still have a crack in my exhaust, so now it just sounds like really bad gas going down the road.
So you're basically saying your car sounds like it's overcompensating.
Yes. Yes, my car sounds like it has small dick energy.
I mean, you are Italian after all.
Yeah.
I mean, that attitude.
Well, yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's try to get the podcast back on the tracks here. We're live tonight, week of June 4th, 2024, right here on Twitch TV. We're here live Tuesdays from 9 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern. You can always find us at Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session. I keep saying I'm going to do another stream, but maybe after the summer when things kind of settle down and I'm finally moved and I'm settled down, I can start a secondary stream, you know. I'm also proud to be part of the Voice of Geeks Network at vognetwork.com. And you can always find them at Twitch TV/Vog Network. And we have a Discord, so come hang out with us and chat with us. Join us. vognetwork.com/Discord. Every show that's part of the Voice Geeks Network has a channel, so come through and hang out. So now that we got that out the way, we're going to go, how was your day? How was your week? Mako, how was your day? How was your week? How have you been? I know you took some time off.
Yeah, it hasn't been, horrible,
Right.
but also hasn't been good, if that makes sense.
No, it's sort of like the aspect of I've been to hell and back already, and it's sort of like more like when someone slaps you around and all of that shit comes back to you, and you're just like, your eyes are opened. But in this case, it's more like, you know what? I'm gonna walk into the valley of death, and all the slapping begins, and you're just like, oh, is that all? Is this how it is? All right, something like that.
Yeah, it's definitely been trying. I'll put it that way. So I did take a break for mental health reasons, and things are better on that aspect. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I've been attempting to, I guess,
be human.
Yeah, pretty much. I let a lot of things go that I probably shouldn't have, so now I'm trying to play catch up with things.
I hear you. I don't know. I kind of feel like that there's some stuff I've let go, and I'm just like, don't think I should have let that go. But at the same, I'm like, you know what? It's gone. I'll just keep it rolling, you know. So, anywho, in contrast to that, my weekend day has been pretty good. I'm still apartment hunting. I came back from looking at a place earlier tonight, and it's on the third floor. It's a third floor walk up, 2 bedrooms. One is like 6x8, and the other one is like 9x7, but it has deep freaking closets. And I'm not talking deep like the closets like your place, but it's more like, I'd have to say the closets in each room is like 1.5 feet deep by like 4 to 5 feet wide.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, one side is for hanging and the other side is shelving. So I'm just like, if the rooms were slightly bigger, I would love this because I think I could fit. Like, if you look in my, for those, like, I know if I take the big bedroom, my bed will fit in there, my computer desk will fit in there, and a dresser. Everything else will have to go into the living room area. But I'm going to check around because I think I would prefer a 2-bedroom place in a house because at least it's a little bit bigger. But the downside is if I get a 2-bedroom place in a house, I'd have to pay for electricity and gas. Whereas if it's an apartment building, just electricity, you know? That's not so bad, you know. Anywho, let's see. I planned to go out Saturday night, you know, to hang out and have a good time, but I decided not to because I took a trip to the island of Long on Sunday to the Long Island Trading Card Game Show Expo. And I'm like, well, because a friend of the show, Michelle Knotts, voice actress, you all know her as the voice of Jessie from Team Rocket from Pokemon. She was there making an appearance, and I figured, you know, let me go and hang out with her and hang out with a few people that I know. So that was good. We had a great time with that. We went out to dinner and kind of met up with a couple other people. We just kind of talked and kicked back. So it was pretty good. Couldn't complain. I was very appreciative of getting a ride back to the train station because when I mapped everything out, it was going to take me about almost 3 hours to get there because I don't drive. So, and the kick in the ass part was after I got off at the train station, there's a 15-minute wait for the next bus, which is almost another half-hour ride to the hotel. So I just said screw it and dropped money and got a lift to go right over there, which cut my time down by like 45 minutes. I was like, thank God. And what's funny was when I left Sunday morning, my goal was to leave a little bit early, which I did. And I was hoping that if I left early, I could catch an earlier train out there, which by the time I got to the terminal, I just missed it by a minute. But I was like, well, at least I can relax, find a seat, and chill, which I did. I got some pretty good pictures. I didn't even shoot with the flash. I just went with a high ISO and just shot and just see how they came out. I think the photos came out pretty well. I didn't take a lot. I probably took like less than 30 photos. I recorded Michelle's Pokemon Q&A panel that she did with other Pokemon voice actors and actresses. So those photos from that panel and that video will most likely be on her YouTube or her Facebook. So enjoy them there. The other cosplay photos I did take, they will probably be on my personal fan page because it wasn't that many. So, you know, I figured why not. I think that was it. Let me think for a second. Oh yeah. Friday, I had off because the office was closed because it was like it's like the office closes one day out of a year for everybody to do volunteer stuff. I don't do volunteer stuff. I just rather donate a few dollars to a local charity or organization and call it a day. That's just me. So on that day, I just relaxed and just kind of worked on some stuff and just because my main goal right now before Shenanigans rolls around, which I know I'm probably not going to get that many photos. I need to get my Anime NYC photos done. And I have like a bunch of videos I need to edit and upload. So here's hoping with those. So much stuff, not enough time. So it's it, and that's that. So now we're going to get into some housekeeping here. Let's see if it refreshes. And give you some updates as to what's going on with us. Okay. We want to let you know that episodes of Anime Jam Session are available on our YouTube page, the video podcast, that is. It's available Thursdays at 12 noon. If it's not up by 12 noon, it'll be up later that day or by Friday at the same time. That's probably because I may have forgotten or I had gone out and I didn't get back in time to do the proper edit. So It's it, and that's it. And that's perfect for those who aren't subscribed to the channel, or if you are, depending on your subscription, you might not be able to see some of the older episodes. On our YouTube page, the podcast is available, and it goes back about a couple of years, so enjoy. See what else do we have here? I need to add this to the list. We have a couple of conventions coming up. June 22nd to the 23rd, 2024. At the Hilton Parsippany in Parsippany, New Jersey, is Shenanigans. It's a 2-day convention, and it's 21 plus, so you definitely want to come check that out. And right after that is Undiscovered Realm Comic Con, and it is June 29th to the 30th. I will be there just on the 29th with a friend. It's at the Westchester County Center in White Plains, New York. And if you're a big fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the cartoon, old school, the classic movies, the voice actors and mocappers will be there. Kevin Nash won't be there because we all know he was Super Shredder in the second Ninja Turtles. But both actors that were Shredder and Turtles 1 and 2 will be there, so definitely check that out. And I have a feeling I'm probably going to be broke as a joke after getting autographs. Because I'm like, oh shit, they got the... And I'm like, I have the TMNT box set. And then I realize it's the box set, but it doesn't have all of the characters on. It's just more of the... It's not the right one, so I'm like, fuck. I'm going to have to go out and buy a copy of the DVDs and get them autographed. I mean, I did that for my Josie and the Pussycats DVD while I was on the line. And at the time, there was a local video store there. They had the Canadian version for like $10. It was the same thing, but it was in English and French. So there it is.
Hey, that works.
Oh yeah. I don't think she. Let's see. I forget that actress's name. She was in Clerks 2. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Actually, let me look it up. Clerks 2 cast. Rosario Dawson, yes. Yes, she was... I think it surprised her that out of all the stuff for people to sign... Thank you, Ron, for 21, Rosario Dawson. I think she was quite surprised to see me show up with a copy of the Josie and the Pussycats DVD. What can I say? I really enjoyed the movie.
I'm trying to think if I know that I've watched it at least once, but it's not very memorable to me. So
no, I totally get that. I actually saw it in the theaters.
Yeah, I don't think I did that.
It tanked out, but I didn't care. I enjoyed it because I was a fan of the cartoon growing up. Granted, they deviated badly from the source material, but it was still a good movie nonetheless. So
they do in most of those types of things.
Yeah. All right, moving right along, we're gonna get into Geek Roundtable. This is the part of the show where we talk about more of our geekier aspects of our lives and what we have been up to. So I see Mako has a new plush on display here.
I do.
Yes,
so
you do.
I have previously shown off the Lucifer plush that I got. These are, obviously my demony lovely boys from Obey Me. This happens to be the second brother, Mammon, who is the avatar of greed. I originally was not going to get all of them, but I did anyway. So I do have my Mammon now. And next week I will have another one, and there's already one that's on order, and I will be ordering another one this week.
Because of course you are.
Well, yeah. And then there are two that still have not been released. So once they are released, I'll have to get them too.
Got you.
We'll have all the brothers, and I will probably cry if they start making any of the other characters.
Because you'll be so broke, right?
Well, I don't know that I will actually go after all of the other
Hmm.
characters, but there are a couple of the like the angels that are in the series that I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Um, there are other demons in the series, so I'm just really hoping that they stick with just the demon brothers,
Mm-hmm.
so that I don't have to spend a whole crap ton of money on other plushies.
Fair enough. All right. So I've been watching anime. I'm not. I know I finished up a couple of other series, so I have like a bit of a whole opening per se. I like to follow at least 3 series, 4 tops during a season, and I like to have like that fourth series something that I was like an older classic show because I know those episodes already. I can just kind of marathon it. So for classic, I'm watching Life Lessons with Urameshi-san. I haven't watched it in a while, but I need to get back into that. I think that's an anime I think you'd like, Marco.
What one's that?
Life Lessons with Urameshi-san.
Hmm.
Basically, you're putting on a brave face for everybody, and then you just have these dark thoughts that in your mind. You're like basically that.
Okay.
I went back into watching because I'm borrowing a friend's account. Do you love your mom with the two with her wonderful 2-hit attacks? I started watching that years ago, but I never finished it. So I went ahead and did that. So I'm working on that. I'm like a couple episodes completing that. Um, let's see. I am watching Mushiko Tensei. I think there's like a new episode dropped. I think yesterday, so I'll be watching it on Sunday. What I like to do is on Sundays, I sit down with like 2, 3 animes and eat and watch them while I'm eating breakfast. I've started on My Hero Academia season 7, but this time I'm watching the dub of that instead of the normal subtitle, and I'm enjoying it right now. And let's see, there is another series I was watching. I was also watching. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Oh yeah, Kaiju number 8. That's also really good. And let's see. As we all know, it is June. It is Pride Month. So everybody that celebrates Pride, happy Pride. And as you know, if you watch this show every week, we keep the new Pride banner up on. Point this way. That way you can see it. Wait, because remember my screen is kind of is mirrored. So if you look above, you will see the Pride banner that we keep up there all year round. So and there's that. And also, what I like to do is I have Pride shirts that I wear during June. I mean, you should wear them all year round, but we don't. In a way, it's almost like Black History Month. When that comes around, we put out all the Black History stuff, and at the end of the month, we move along to something else. So this shirt that I got it based over the fact that I actually loved the quote, and I saw this image on Facebook, and I shared it, and I'm like, it's gotta be a shirt or something like that. It's gotta be. So I'm going to zoom out for those of you who can try to see it. All right. So the shirt says, "I'd rather be excluded for who I include than be included for who I exclude." And it has 5 hearts on it, and it has a different representation. You have you have the colors for the minorities. You have the trans pride heart. You have the American flag, peace, and the rainbow pride colors. So it's like that. And what's interesting is it's not the original. This is slightly different from the image I was sharing on Facebook, but I really couldn't find that one. And this one was reasonably priced, so I went out and bought it. And normally I wear these shirts on Tuesdays, including going to work. But like I said during the top of the show, I was looking at an apartment today, and I'm like, well, I don't want to wear anything that's going to make the landlord be like, what the fuck? So I'm like, let me wear my traditional Voltron shirt and then wear this for the podcast. And I'll be wearing this to work tomorrow because that's what I do. And I'll grab this, and then we will get into our stories. Now, it's no secret that I am a fan of Sailor Venus. Now, I am not a diehard fan because if I was, I'd have shit tons of Venus merch. There are some things that are out there I'm like, that's way too much money for me, or I don't think I'd want that. Now, I did pick up a couple of things in Japan, which were good deals, and that's the only reason I picked them up. Now, like I said, Q Poskets are something quote unquote new to me. I didn't like them at first until Barry pointed me to a Yohane Q Posket I looked at. I was like, ooh, I like that. And that kind of reopened my thoughts and eyes to Q Poskets, or as I like to call them, Japanese Funko Pops, but better. Plus, I have a quick story to tell you about that, Mako, in a bit. So, last week, or week before last, a friend of mine made an announcement about one of her friends was selling a Q Posket of Sailor Venus. And if you notice, a lot of Q Poskets come in two styles or two colors, and it's A and B. A lot of times I pick the ones based on the better looking color to me, or if I catch a good deal, I'll get them both. Like the Eternal Sailor Venus Q Poskets I got in Japan. I got both of them for $25. You can't beat that. So somebody was selling a Princess Venus Q Posket. Now, I already had one, and I had no intentions of picking up another one, but somebody was selling one, and it was the B type, and what had happened was I decided to go looking through my boxes to see if I had it or not, because I was trying to cross-reference. I might have bought an additional figurine that I already had. So here it is in all its glory, is the B-type Princess Venus Q Posket. So, and I realized if I already have this one, it's okay, because I'll take it out the box and put it on display. Because I learned something from my friend Steve Bennett, who's a diehard Lum fan. Because what had happened was I got him a Lum figure, and so did another friend of his, Wendell. And we had thought that we had gotten him the same identical one, but we didn't. And he said, that's okay. I'll keep one in the box and one on display. And I was like, I like the way that sounds. So for certain figures, if I have two of them, I'll keep one in the box and put the other one on display. All right.
That's what I end up doing.
Yep. Oh, and I did buy 3 Funko Pops at Long Island Trading Card Game Expo. And one of them was Peridot from Steven Universe.
Ooh, cool.
And I got it for below cost because supposedly it's going for like 60-something bucks, because I happened to try to do a look on Amazon. These Steven Universe Pops are like kind of pricey. So
they might be pricey on there, but they aren't really coming up on the Funko app as being pricey.
Well,
or at least the 2 that I have aren't coming up as.
Well, because I know I saw a Steven one for like $60-something.
Yeah, Steven and Garnet, I think, were 2 that were a little, I guess, harder to get.
Mm-hmm. So I went back and I got 2 Pops earlier. I got you one, which I will give you this weekend, and the other one is for a friend, which I will put in the box and I will mail and send to her job, because the last Pop I sent her got sent back, and I resent it. It's in a lockup at her house, at her apartment complex, and she needs a code to get it out, and the complex has not contacted her about a damn code.
Oh, damn.
I know. And I said, if I come across this Pop again, I'm sending it to your job. Anywho, so it's Peridot. And I bought it, and the guy tells me the pop used to belong to his ex-fiance. I know. And then I happened to tell him about the story behind behind the leather trench coat that I gave you. Long story short, former partner left it behind. I said fuck it and gave it to Mako because I wasn't wearing it.
Yep. And then it became my Silent Bob coat.
Even better. I think what's really funny, if she would ever hit up conventions and we all crossed paths and you were wearing it, she wouldn't even notice.
Given how many years it's been, probably not.
Yeah. So anywho, enough about that. We are going to get into tonight's stories. Mako, you want to kick things off with Nippon Animation?
Sure. So, Nippon Animation is preparing for its 50th anniversary. So next June will mark the 50th anniversary of iconic Nippon Animation, which not only produced classics such as World Masterpiece Theater, A Dog Flanders, Chibi Maruko-chan, the 1999 Hunter x Hunter anime, also the jumping off studio for Miyazaki and Takahata.
Oh, nice.
Celebrate the momentous occasion, the studio will spend the next year looking back at its past and delivering updated projects, modern reimagining, and more. To start with, the studio unveiled a new 50th anniversary logo with a film print motif to represent the history of the studio. They also released a statement for the launch of the 50th anniversary, which is translated from Japanese: "Somewhere in my heart, always and forever. Half a century supported by people passionate about anime." Based on the corporate philosophy of creating animation that contributes to the nurturing of humanity, Nippon Animation Company Limited has been welcomed, supported, and embraced by people all over the world, from its beginnings as an animation production studio to its current status as a global licensing company. Classic masterpieces that move everyone's hearts, the images of the protagonist living their lives to the fullest, create new emotions in the viewer's hearts. The feelings become nourishment, and the place where they have slowly seeped in is like a hometown that you can always return to. Somewhere in Your Heart, Always and Forever, June 3rd, 2025, marks the 50th anniversary of Nippon Animation. Looking ahead, we will continue to bring you the world that only we can bring to life.
That's really cool, and I like that they're prepping so far in advance for this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we're gonna move from celebrating 50 years to a musical on stage on Broadway. Now, what I'm talking about here is Attack on Titan, the musical. Well, if Sailor Moon can do it, why not Attack on Titan, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So basically, what's happening is that there's going to be 4 performances in New York City this October for Attack on Titan, the musical. And I'm not talking where you go into a theater and you watch a film of it. No, I'm talking about actually on stage. Basically by now, tickets are available. They just went on sale yesterday. If you are a member of Crunchyroll, you can get a pre-sale code. They actually posted it. It was Crunchyroll NY24. If you want to save a few bucks on that. So as I said, there's 4 performances. It'll be at the New York City Center from October 11th to the 13th. So if you are a big fan of Attack on Titan, I highly recommend you check this out, because it's probably going to be a lot better than a live action film. Which is kind of shocking, because Japanese live action films of animes do really, really well.
Well, I think this did well in Japan. Japan.
It did. Well, it did, but it was kind of panned because of, I think it has something to do with the names and so forth.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember something about it that, the story was good, but something was just not right with it.
Yeah. So the basic premise of this, for those of you who don't know, known in Japan as Shingeki no Kyojin, many years ago, the last remnants of humanity were forced to retreat behind the towering walls of a fortified city to escape the massive man-eating titans that roamed the land outside their fortress. Only the heroic members of the Scouting Legion dared to stray beyond the safety of the walls, but even those brave warriors seldom returned alive. Those within the city clung to the illusion of a peaceful existence until the day that dream was shattered, and their slim chance at survival was reduced to one horrifying choice: kill or be devoured. I think once I finish up with Urameshi-san and two hit attack, I'm going to probably work on finishing Attack on Titan.
Yeah, now that all of these series are coming to an end, am kind of interested in, sitting down to watch them all.
And as somebody mentioned in the comments here, the whole play will be in Japanese because the stage originated from Japan, but there will be English subtitles. It'll be just like how Spirited Away staged in London, where they showed the English subtitles on either side of the stage. I don't know. I mean, if you already know the premise, I don't think you really need it, but then again, the Sailor Moon musical that we saw, it didn't have much in the ways of words and speech. It was more dance and presentation.
Yeah, I guess.
One of the funny things I'm looking at the comment for, I don't even want to imagine what kind of trash this will be. Not because of the language, but the fact that Attack on Titan was not meant to be a musical. It completely ruins the dark and gritty aesthetic of the show that is loved. Look, my weeaboo in Christ. Or case, my weeaboo in Kami. Let me tell you something. Back to the Future was not meant to be a musical, but goddamn if it ain't printing money.
You got a point.
I mean, the guy that's playing Doc was nominated for a Tony for Best Oscar, okay? For Best Actor. That should tell you something. As Hebrew says, I mean, it's common for foreign language opera in the U.S. to have subtitles or super titles in theaters. They've had it since at least when I was in high school, way back when. Fair enough. But I've never watched a lot of foreign stuff on stage, so I don't fully remember. So, and I bet you $1 if I go looking on YouTube, I will find video clips of that Sailor Moon musical. I know I will. Anywho, moving right along here. Let's see, refresh that. All right, Mako, what's going on with Texas AnimeFest?
Sure. So, the Texas AnimeFest convention's social media account announced last Saturday that this year's events will be its last large-scale event. Texas AnimeFest is going to be going on in Arlington, Texas from July 25th through July 28th. You will have your normal dealer's room cosplay competition, art show, exhibiting anime fan art for sale, a game fest featuring video game demos and arcade and tabletop games, as well as an idol fest. It does not say why exactly. It has hosted the convention for 32 years. And it says that the nonprofit plans to focus its resources on more scaled down events in the future.
Oh, that's good.
So, I mean, I guess uh the scare of illness, maybe they're wanting to do smaller events instead of large,
Or
all crowds. I don't know.
maybe it's the same thing that has been happening with other one of the issues that other conventions have: lack of staff. Maybe they can't get enough staffers to handle something so big.
It could also be that the
Mm-hmm.
prices of the hotels and convention centers are going up.
Mm-hmm.
Once they reach the end of their contract, they may be priced out of staying where they are.
Right.
It could be that the convention centers don't want a bunch of weebs.
You're not wrong.
So that's why they're being priced out. It could be any number of things, but it just, it seems, I guess, odd in a way to not mention why.
True. But also on the same token, I actually prefer smaller conventions. I mean, honestly, anything that's under like 10,000 people, I think is good and it's preferred, honestly. Because when it gets really big and so forth, it becomes huge. It becomes kind of mismanaged. It becomes overwhelming because there's so much stuff to do, and it's like it's a little, but you don't have all that time to check everything out.
Mhm.
That's basically the main reason why I stopped going to Otakon. There's something wrong with the con itself, despite what other people will say. But for me, it was just too big. And the only reason why I'm doing Anime NYC is because it's in my backyard. And yes, it's huge. But the way everything is laid out, it doesn't feel as big. It's just, you know, think of it like, imagine like 10,000 people, or matter of fact, imagine a classroom full of 20 something people. That's a regular classroom. That's a lot of people. It's a lot to navigate through. Now put those same 20 people in the auditorium, just them, and they're all spread out. It's not so bad. Which is why I'm glad, in a way, I'm glad Anime NYC is in the summer, because they have the full convention center to do what they can do. It has nothing to do with the fact that they're competing with other conventions, because let's be real, all conventions are competing with each other. Sometimes things just happen by pure coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, so now next thing I want to tell y'all about is Creepy Nuts. I heard of them when they did the opening theme to Call It a Night. And from my understanding, part of the deal was they wanted to be part of the intro, which was cool. The basic premise is about a teenage boy who's kind of tired of life, and he just stopped going to school, and he goes out at night. And he meets this vampire named Nazuna, and he falls for her, and they become good friends, and she's just trying to show him more or less the nighttime ropes when she's not playing Street Fighter Alpha on her PlayStation. It's actually a pretty good anime. I don't think it's going to get a season 2, but the 12 episodes of season 1 were really good. And like the last time I actually mentioned Creepy Nuts, they did the opening theme to the second season of Mashal, and everybody's talking about how great it was. I'm like, no, not really. I think the opening to Hokkaido Girls is Super Adorable was a lot better, but that's just me, because that one sounded more like Uptown Funk. But anywho, it was announced last week on Anime NYC socials that Creepy Nuts will be doing their first U.S. concert at the convention this year. They will perform on August 23rd at 6:30. You will need to purchase a ticket in addition to a convention badge. Hey, Mako.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when you could just buy a badge and the concert was part of the badge and you could just go?
Yep.
Those were the days.
Yep.
Now, there are several tiers of tickets. You have general admission, gold, silver, and bronze. Now, the gold, silver, and bronze are guaranteed ticket holders. So basically, you have a guaranteed spot if you get one of those. Tickets go on sale on the 12th. Creepy Nuts most recently performed the opening theme, Bling Bang Bang Born, which, like I said, is the second season opening to Mashal, Magic and Muscles. They also performed the theme songs and insert songs for the anime Call of the Night. And also, they made a guest appearance in the 6th episode. That's cool. Anime NYC 2024 will take place on August 23rd to the 25th. The event will take over the full main building of the Javits Center for the first time. Tickets are already on sale, so if you didn't get your Saturday ticket, I don't know what to tell you. The con launched in November 2017 and has taken place in November each year since then. It was only held online in 2020. According to the staff, the new August date will allow them to offer fans more space to showcase more features and more panel rooms for more screenings, workshops, and special events. And I think that is a great idea. Anime NYC hits numbers like 30,000 people, 40,000 people, and as spread out and as huge as the Javits Center is, and how much of the Javits Center the con has, when you're walking around, it doesn't feel crowded. Yes, going into the dealer's hall and coming out, it feels crowded because people are standing around taking pictures in those areas. But once you get inside, it really is not that bad. I still think they should put up external transmitters for better 4G and 5G signals, but that's just me. Or at least talk to the convention center about increasing the Wi-Fi bandwidth. But, I think that would be like the cheaper way to go. All right. Enough about that. Let's see what else is on our list today. I'm kind of hype about this. Tell them about Batman Ninja, Marco.
Yeah, so Warner Brothers Japan confirmed that Batman Ninja versus Yakuza League, an exciting new sequel to the original Batman Ninja anime film, is currently in production. So this is going to be a sequel to the 2018 Batman Ninja. Kamikaze Duga will produce the film alongside Warner and serves as the animation studio. The directors are returning, the writer, designer, music, voice actors. So if you liked Batman Ninja, they are coming out with a sequel.
It was so good. I loved it.
So while the plot details are currently unknown, the film will continue Batman's journey back to the Warring States period in Japan as he battles DC supervillains who serve as feudal lords in this new timeline. They are expected to announce more information at the Warner Brothers Japan stage event at Anime Expo. Meanwhile, Batman Day later this year on September 21st also promises to bring new news and activations as part of the character's 85th anniversary. Also featuring alongside the new Batman Ninja film at Anime Expo will be the Suicide Squad isekai. So yeah, Japan loves its DC, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Now, I think what also did it for me, this basically, yes, Warner Brothers is producing this, but the studio behind the first animated feature was David Production. You may know them from Cells at Work and the new Urusei Yatsura, but they are well known for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Oh, man, I might have to take some time on Thursday and watch this movie again. It was really good.
I know it was.
I mean, it's in my Amazon list. It's still the the Harley Quinn Funko Pop of her, from feudal Japan. And I know the price is going up, but I'm like, I'm willing to spend that money just to have it. It's really good. Speaking of that cart, I have to be careful because there's a couple of things I put in that cart and I totally forgot about. And I happened to look down it and it's like sold out. And I was like, well, damn.
Oops.
Yeah. It happens. And I'm looking at my list right now. There it is. Yep. It's up to $54. Batman Ninja Harley Quinn Sengoku edition. And now the price is $60.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is usually what happens with Funko Pop.
Oh, wait, hold it. It's not a Funko Pop. My bad. It's a Nendroid.
Oh, yeah, the Nendroids, those two, because they make a certain amount, and then if they're left, put out a second series.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that it's $60 is actually reasonable, because generally Nendroids go between, I've seen as cheap as $55 and as expensive as like $90. So I might just have to. And again, it would stay in the box that it came in. So just like my Tamari figure. Can't believe I caught a deal on that. Anywho,
I only have one Nendroid that I took out of the box.
Yeah.
And that was May.
Yes. And I'm looking, the reason why, for those of you wondering why I'm turned away, I'm looking at my glass display case. I have two Nendroids out of its box, Yohane and May. And did you know? I don't know if you know, but there's a new version of Nendroids that are out.
That I didn't hear about.
Yeah, they're called Nendroid Doll. They're taller and they're still ultra posable.
Oh.
They look like small dolls, and I think they're less expensive for some odd reason, something like that. I saw it on Otaku Mode, and it was for Oscar Langley, best girl from Evangelion. Oscar Langley. Let's see if I can pull it real quick. Yes, Nendroid Doll. It's Oscar and Ray in their school uniforms. And it's like $63, and they look posable too. It's about 5.5 inches tall, but yet if you look at the normal Nendroids, they're about 4 inches, like more chibi-fied. Okay, the dolls are a little bit more expensive than the regular Nendroid. My bad. But I kind of want it. Keyword kinda. Then again, I have like the main Asuka figurines that I've always wanted. It's the one of her in her Lolita outfit, which is still in the box, in the wrapping, in the shipping package from Japan when I got it like over a year ago.
Okay, I really need to get off of the Good Smile website because I'm just hurting myself now.
Why?
Because there are a lot of Nendroids that I want.
Oh boy. Cedarberry says that he owns 3, only one of them in the box, which is Tsukasa from Lucky Star. You lucky bastard. Tsukasa's my favorite girl from Lucky Star. And he has Shin-chan and Conan. Oh, he has 1 out of the box. Yeah.
Yeah, I have May. I have Kaito Kid. And I have Severus Snape.
Severus Snape.
Yeah, but there are quite a few that I want. That I keep seeing and I go, I can't.
Which is understandable.
I only have one dull obsession, and I chose Funko Pops.
Mm-hmm.
Can't start shelling out double, triple, sometimes quadruple the price of one of those for all of the ones that I would want on this website.
I will say, I mean, I will say this. During my travels in Japan, I did not see a lot of Nendroids, but I saw a lot of all of the other figures, which is kind of understandable. Like the Sega figures, the Ferry, all of those were because I think they're more mass produced. You can always find those in first and new and secondhand stores. It's the Nendroids that you don't really see.
Yeah.
All right, and we're gonna get into our last story of the night. And it's your fandom there, Mako.
Yeah, I was really excited to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
It's your article, though.
Is it? I thought I did the last one.
Did you? No, I did Batman Ninja.
Okay, all right, my bad. So, okay, if I had known that, I would have done the swap. So Anywho, we're going to talk about Godzilla Minus One. The film is now available worldwide. This was announced on Toho's Godzilla's Twitter account. You can now catch it on Netflix. It's worldwide, but not available in Japan. Later this summer, you can find Godzilla Minus One Minus Color, the black and white version of the film, on Netflix. Okay, now that's kind of cool. If you don't have Netflix, you can watch it on Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, Microsoft, Fandango Now, Vudu, In Demand, Ubiquity, and Xbox, which is basically Microsoft. I mean, I believe if you buy it on the store, you can watch it on your PC or on your Xbox. And I was there. I'm not saying I was there for this, but I was at a bar with some friends as they announced this. And I'm talking about how Godzilla Minus One won Best Visual Effects Award at the 96 Academy Awards back in March. It is the first Japanese film to win in this category and the first Godzilla film to be nominated for an Oscar. I mean, watching that being announced and winning really made my nerd heart really just go big, because I thought it was so awesome. The film also won Best Visual Effects Award and Best Sound Award at the 17th Asian Film Awards on March 10th. Japan's Iga Eneki Bunga Kyokai, the Film Theater Culture Association, named the movie's producers Hisashi Usui, the late Shuji Abe, Kenji Yamada, Kazuaki Kishida, Go Abe, and Kichiro Moriya winners of the general award at the 43rd Annual Fujimoto Awards. The film opened in Japan on November 3rd, 2023, known as Godzilla Day, which is the anniversary of the first Godzilla film that was released back on November 3rd, 1954. The new film of this was screened at TIFF, the Tokyo International Film Festival, as the closing of last year's event on November 1st. The film has earned basically almost $56.5 million in the United States and a little bit over $50 million internationally as of February 1st. The film has now become the third highest growing foreign language film of all time in the United States. Now, I will say this, there has been an update since this article that came out. On Amazon Prime Video in Japan, you can watch the movie in color or in black and white. And it's exclusively streaming on there. So, definitely you want to check that out.
That's cool.
Yes. And as Bonzo6 says, Godzilla Minus One was so damn good, it deserves all the flowers. And the AMC library is for now Voodoo. Even better. So now we're going to get into the part of the show that y'all really stick around for. Meanwhile, in Japan. All right there, Mako. Take your pick.
Doesn't really matter to me.
Okay. I'll take the last story then.
I figured.
Mm.
All right. Come on, load. So there is a ferry boat in Tokyo that you can take that is uh, given a mystery ticket.
Mm.
So, what is the mystery, you might ask? Well, that is you don't know where you're going or how long you'll be there until just before your ship leaves the terminal. It's not to
Okay.
say you'd be totally in the dark. There are 5 possible destinations, all islands in the Izu archipelago that lies in the southwest of Japan's capital city. So, depending on which you end up being taken to, the amount of time you'll spend on the islands varies. So, there is Izu Oshima. It's a 4-hour trip with a 55-minute stay. Toshima, which is a 3-hour trip and a 36-minute stay. Nijima, which is a 2-hour trip and a 45-minute stay. Shikinjima,
Mm.
which is a 2-hour trip and a 10-minute stay.
Wow.
And Kozoshima, which is a 1-hour trip and a 10-minute stay.
Huh.
So they all leave Tokyo at 8:50 in the morning and return the same day at 5:15 p.m.
Hmm.
Prices are $77, 12,000 yen for adults, and 6,000 yen for children. Reservations are required and must be made at least 1 day in advance, but again, you won't know where you're headed until the day of your departure when you show up at the terminal.
Mm.
So they just started offering the mystery ticket on May 23rd. And yeah, it's a little odd, but also kind of fun, I guess.
I like the mystery aspect of it.
Yeah, I question how much like the timing of the stay, if that's just how long it stays before it makes like a return trip and then comes back kind of thing. Because the islands that only have a stay of 10 minutes seem too quick to spend $77 on.
Hmm. I think it's also to compensate for the fact that you have much more longer treks. So just covering all bases.
Yeah, I guess it's still a little. I don't know. I don't know that I would want to spend $77 on a mystery and only get to be off of the boat for 10 minutes.
True.
Especially since that one only takes an hour to get there. So I don't know. It says that the mystery tickets are available Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday until June 27th. And it's basically going to small rural communities.
Okay. So it looks like it's just like during certain days of the week as a temporary thing. I'm guessing outside of that, you can pay for the proper ride that you want.
That's my guess.
Mm-hmm.
That's my guess. I mean, maybe it's going to all 5 of the islands as well, and it just the it just changes the, I guess, which one's first
Mm-hmm.
and the lineup and all of that. I don't know. I don't know. But I guess if you're in Japan and you're bored and you just want to, throw your money away.
I think for me as a foreign tourist, I probably wouldn't do this. I would just be too busy checking out other places and so forth. Which reminds me, I have to add that place you told me to my list
Yes.
I think I can only pull it off if I'm in downtown Tokyo. For those of you who are wondering about this tangent of sorts, Mako sent me a link to a Tokyo restaurant where neighborhood grannies are cooking the food. And I think that's
I have
really
no
cool.
idea what is gonna be on the menu until you get there, because it depends on which granny is in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to actually search and see if I can find it. Um, let's see. It's in Tokyo's Arakawa Ward. All right. I'm looking at this list here. If I dig around looking up, I'll probably end up finding it. Then I know to put it on my list, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Makino Shokudo Arakawa Ward. No. Let me see if I can find Arakawa Ward. All right, Arakawa City. Okay. Restaurants. Search here. Makinaka Shokudo. It did not come up.
Hmm.
That's interesting. I'll have to keep digging and see if I can find it. So, unless this person who talked about, oh wait, let me see if I can find it through the kanji. Usually that works.
Let's
And I
stop
think,
with the article.
hold on one second. Yep, found it. Found it. That's what it is. Because here's the thing. Sometimes when you're looking for locations in Japan, sometimes you can find it under the kanji or the romanji or either or. So I found it. I'll have to add it to my list later. So let's put this train back on its tracks one more time before it derails and falls over again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know the big thing everyone's talking about is AI, good and bad, more bad than it is good, which I do understand. But a Japanese telecom giant is going to make an AI filter to calm angry customers at call centers. And I like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
For years now, there's been talk of the problem of the power harassment in which employees are pushed to unhealthy extremes by their superiors. While there's still a lot of work to be done there, attention has been gradually turning to the other end of the suffering spectrum known as customer harassment, in which employees are pushed to unhealthy extremes by the customers. Customer harassment puts companies in a tricky situation since they don't want to step on the PR landmine of telling off or pressing charges against people who essentially support them. On the other hand, having employees with mental breakdowns as a result of dealing with these people who seem to lack common fucking sense is also bad for the brand image. It's a lose-lose situation, but there's a technology in the form of an AI that takes angry voices and converts them into something more palatable to a listener's ears, which is something that I like. There's a video demonstration available of how it works, developed by SoftBank. You know, the people that bought Sprint and then sold it off to T-Mobile. It's a joint venture between SoftBank and the University of Tokyo. And in the video, it goes from, "Is this how you treat a customer of over 5 years? Hey!" to, "Is this how you treat a customer of over 5 years? Hey." So, from angry to calm, a flick of a switch. As this video was posted on YouTube and other people went to watch it, there have been interesting comments regarding this. Like, Just lowering the pitch seems to have a big effect. It should make everyone sound like a classy lady too. Just let the AI do the whole thing. They can get an AI to do the talking on the call center end, but humans are too ambiguous for it to be effective though. It is less offensive to call someone an idiot in a soft voice. Actually, kind of is. Just set it up when a person sees it's hopeless, they can transfer the call to the AI manager. AI would certainly seem to be every bit as good as handling the more emotionally toxic elements of working at a call center as making kitschy art. On the other hand, anyone who's dealt with one of these chatbots would have noticed that they're almost pathologically apologetic, which could backfire and be irritating for normal people calling in with simple questions and problems. The SoftBank solution that combines the strengths of an AI and people are probably ideal. They are still fine-tuning this so that operators can accurately understand how the callers feel while still being shielded from abusive language. Perhaps other features will also be added by the time this is expected to be put into use sometime next year. It's basically digital tact in a way, if you ask me.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, I know there have been times I've gotten upset, and I've actually said to the operator, I'm not mad at you. I'm just mad at the situation at whole. You didn't do anything wrong, you know? And I totally get that. Believe you me, I totally. And now that we got that out the way, I think it's time to wrap up the show. Do you agree?
See.
Well, fair enough. Senorita Mako-chan says we have to go, so we have to go. So, if you like tonight's show, tell a friend. They in turn will tell another friend, and so on and so forth. We're independent podcasters, independent bloggers, so what we like and don't like, we're telling you straight up. If you have any questions about the show, drop us a line at podcast@animejamsession.com. Again, that is podcast@animejamsession.com. We're here to believe you. Don't forget to check out our website at animejamsession.com, where you will find not just our weekly podcast, you will find convention reports, cosplay tips and tricks, cosplay interviews, anime reviews, editorials, links to our YouTube page and our Facebook page of convention videos and convention and cosplay coverage. All that and a lot more at animejamsession.com. Don't forget to check out our podcast. It is available on Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And if you could, leave us a review on one of those. We greatly appreciate that because a little goes a long way. And don't forget to follow us on our social media pages. Anime Jam Session on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Follow us on those so you know when we're going live, when we have new articles up, new episodes up, and other cool stuff you definitely want to check out. And to everyone who follows on our socials, thank you so much. We really couldn't do the show without y'all, the fans. And now, if you're still with us, down below is the links to our tip jars. Clickable links to our Stream Elements, Streamlabs, and Ko-Fi. Click on those if you want to throw us a few dollars. We'd really appreciate that. If you want to, you can cheer us on with bits. We got some bits earlier in the show, so to see it, Amiri, thank you so much for that. You're awesome. We love you. And channel subscriptions. We got so many gift subs were given out tonight to Who That Anonymous Person. Thank you. You're awesome. We really appreciate that. So now we're going to go around the room. Last words, Mako-chan.
I am very tired.
My last words. I'm kind of feeling it. So yeah, I'm feeling a little tired too. So that is it. End of list. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. I will be here. Mako will be here. Hopefully Ari will be here and Barry will be here. Will you be here? We're hoping that you are. So that's it. End of list. I'm getting out of here. So is Mako. So I'm Ranma.
And I am Mako-chan.
Great fight. Great night. See you next week.
Good night.
Say goodnight, Mako-chan.
Good night, Mako-chan.
Perfect. Awesome. We're out of here. See you all next week.
This podcast has been a production of Anime Jam Session and AJS Productions. No fanboys and fangirls were hurt, maimed, shot, electrocuted, or pistol whipped in this episode. For now. The views, opinions, and thoughts expressed on this show do not reflect the staff or the network as a whole. But we're still right, damn it. For transcripts of this episode, start typing. Check us out at animejamsession.com and vognetwork.com for more information about us and other programming. Jamatane!